Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. Welcome to this edition of the Pan-African Live Debate. My name is Andrew Luwum'S your host and the speaker tonight. And tonight I am glad to be here again with you. Thank you so much, my audience that is live here. Thank you so much, my audience that is listening to our affiliate stations, Great Africa Radio and Tropic FM in Mvende, and also that audience that follows us on TV Africa on Sunday and Thursday. But also, I don't forget to thank that audience that follows us on our social media platforms, the Pan-Africa Live Debate platform and the Pan-Africa Live Twitter, and then Andrew Luwum'S Live on our Facebook page. We all follow you, those people that follow us all there. We thank you so much. This is the Pan-Africa Live Debate, a non-partisan discussion forum, and our aim is to actually tickle that intellectualism in you, and we move forward looking for solutions for African problems, first by Africans themselves. Tonight I'm glad we're going to discuss a man that has been in our media for a very long time, a man that we have come to learn even when he's long gone, a man whom most people describe as a patriot, as a nationalist. But there's the other side. There's the other side of the government of Amin that think this was a traitor. I'm talking about Archbishop Janan Jakaria Luwum, a man who was murdered either by Amin himself. If not by Amin himself, then it was his henchmen. I'm going to be giving you a history about this gentleman, and then we shall see whether this man qualifies to be a Pan-Africanist or a traitor or a rebel. Gentlemen, I thank you so much. Our audience, you can actually as well join us online via our MTN SMS line 0782 342317. I repeat, 0782 342317. Don't call but send a message. I will definitely read your message.
Good evening, everybody. I will say Hawari Gani, and I will greet you in all African languages. What I'm going to talk about, because most of the speakers, they spoke about, I will call him Brother Luwum, who was victim also of the conflict between foreign religions, Islam and Christianity. For me, both of them, including General Amin, they are patriots and heroes of Africa, whether people accept it or not. General Amin, all Africans, they are talking about him, that he was able to defy the white man, and he was the only African leader who predicted that America would be ruled by black people, and it is recorded there. Brother Luwum, himself, I think he was a patriot for being, struggling for the freedom of his people. But there are some points I would like to correct, including the word religion, which was asked for. One of the speakers was not able to define it, and the religion is a faith, and faith is, is a belief. Religion is a belief, and the belief is a faith in the absence of the truth. So when we say holy book, it is spiritual writing. Spiritual writing, any kind of writing, which is, and it was written by people. So the point which I want to talk about at last, as a last point, politics and religion should be separated because they are different. Religion gets power from the heaven, from unknown power. And the politicians, they get their power from the people. Because the religion man will tell you that God told me. But the politician will tell you that my people in the village told me. So by taking the power of unseen and frightening people, it is better to be separated and we live in a practical life. Like our cows need grass, we have to take it that way, not to go to pray for God to bring grass for them or to bring water for them. So John Henry Clark said, religion is, all religions are tools meant to enslave the mind of other people. All religions are tools used to enslave other people. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zedin. No. Let me have Professor Dina Obiekwaso. Professor Dina Obiekwaso, do you think we can separate religion from politics? Can we separate religion from politics too? Do we look at General Luwum as a saint or as a rebel?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about this issue. For me, listeners and viewers, I want to make two comments. One, can religion be separated from politics? Two, I want to give the history of religion and politics in Uganda. Please, don't drag me into the issues of faith, because the question of religion is a personal belief. I don't want to enter into those. I could enter them when I'm having a philosophical debate and I feel I'm competent in them. Let me begin with the issue of religion and politics. When you read the history of politics, the politics began in the Greeks, I think before the birth of Jesus. By then, yes, about 500 years before the birth of Jesus. And there was democracy in Athens. And by then, there was a secular state. There was not something to do with religion and politics. When Aristotle says a person who does not get involved in politics is either, actually was believed to be a witch doctor, somebody, a witch, and desirable member of a person in society. By that time, religion did not surface anywhere. It surfaced after the demise of the Greek civilization, and it came, look, I am not watertight in times, but it came during the Middle Era, and it continued up to the time of Enlightenment. During the era of Middle Ages and what medieval eras, the church took the center. It was the center of power. In order to be a leader, you had to be connected with the Pope. And most leaders, especially monarchs, claimed that the power to lead was derived from God and therefore could not be questioned. That is the time during monarchism. That was to change, because I must be rushing. That was to change toward the area of enlightenment. During the era of enlightenment, I talk here about two periods. There was Glorious Revolution of 1688, which took place in Britain, and the French Revolution of 1789, and the American War of Independence of 1776. Both of them were opposing the church. While the former kings and kings everywhere claimed that they have the power to rule the people, because they have got the power derived from God, the people, the revolutionaries of the 17th century and 18th century were saying, no, that this is a lie, that politics must be separated from religion. Religion must be separated from politics. That is when they brought the idea of the social contract. They said the power to rule is derived from the power of the people, that a leader makes a contract with the people. And if he violates the contract with the people, then the leader can be removed. Since then, the church was completely separated from politics. And even then, I'm talking this one, I'm not denigrating the power of the church. Science took the center stage. Issues started being explained scientifically. That's when we get science bring about modern discoveries. We have got the Galileo saying that the earth is round, not flat the way these people used to tell us. You get it, that is when the industrial should took place. So the thinking then changed. And people got contented, even up to now, in the West, to separate politics from separate religion from politics. Those people who are in America or who could be listening, at least they know that one now it is a culture. They want a secular state. Your personal belief is your personal belief. The power to lead is derived from the power of the people by making a contract, by making a constitution, or by having policies, explaining them to the people, and if the people buy them, then you are elected into power. That is what it was. Now, if this thing apply in Uganda, by the time the white scale, the devils, the barbarians, they had started on the system of what they call separation of religion from politics. But did they do that one? No. Instead, they first sent missionaries to come and capture our plane. And then to capture our plane, you know, through the brainwashing, then they were able to get agents. When I go to Namugongo, and they say religion was a religion of peace, I usually shed tears. Because people do not read with their religion. When you look at brought the religious leaders, they started arming factions in the name. The Protestants were being armed by the Protestants. Then the Catholics were being armed by the French. And then we had the Muslims. And when the religion was introduced in Uganda, that was the first time we had blood civil wars. Read your history. The religion, which is confusing the people when they are being exploited, should be completely kicked out of politics. I don't want it there.
Thank you so much.
So wait a minute to comment about Luwum and Amin. Luwum, where was using the church. When you look at Amin, in the history of Uganda, he is the only man who allowed Africans to first come and live in the urban areas. Muyenga was created under Amin. That is the first time when the first Africans tested some sweet of modernity. So, who creates Amin to be a demon? The white man.
Thank you so much, Professor Yoka Fondinewe, a lecturer at Ndeja University and a map of other universities. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned to the Pan-African Live Debate here at Fairway Hotel, and we are live on Tropical FM in Mubende and Great Africa Radio in Imbarara. This show runs on Sunday on TV Africa, and we are powered by Nile Mineral Water. The water we are taking here at Fairway Hotel is actually given to us by Nile Mineral Water. Thank you so much. Let me call Mr. Kididu.
Moderator, I do thank you. And I want to tell my dear listeners that the favorable condition for triumph of evil is when good people like you decide to say or do nothing. Evil will always triumph. And here is only this man called Luwum who stood firm against the injustice. It may killed many, but among the most prominent, I can give you, he started by the minister, Balinzia Batayangaya, or the minister of Botitu. Shaban Mkutu, Ephraim was not spared, was a minister. Benedict Okiwanuka, Chief Justice, was murdered during Bloody Day. Joseph Mubiru, Governor, Bank of Uganda, was murdered. We come to Karundo, the vice chancellor at Makerere University was not spared. Even my bishop at Mbale, Bishop Wasike, was also murdered, among many thousands. So that is the whole thing. You can see how Amin behaved. But if a man like him, General Luwum, stood firm, we have called him a rebel. Yeah, all people who stand against injustice are rebels to the sitting government. Like those who are murdered at Namugongo, they were rebels to Kabaka Mwanga. But now we chase them because of their stand. And celebrating Luwum'S Day, to me, is a fight for justice and maybe peace and stability. What I have to tell you,
finally,
that when Amin took over power, was regarded as a gentle giant by those who propelled him to power. But after a few months, Amin became a very pumpkin and a tyrant buffoon. Nothing significant was done during the reign of 8 years. So when my brother here who was gone, was saying that Amin during that time was bringing people to urban centers, yet he is condemning people to come to urban centers by IM policy, I really fail to understand him. Moderator, I beg to leave there.
thank you so much, Mr. Gidudu, Nandala Gidudu. Thank you so much. Now, let me open this forum. If it is your first time to be here and you're going to discuss, we'll give you 3 minutes. If it is your first time to be here and you have something to discuss, I will give you a platform. Audience. Start by introducing your name and where you come from and then give your views.
Thank you.
Let's use 3 minutes each.
Thank you. I'm Sanyao Derek from Kampala International University, doing bachelor's in law. I have no much to say, but what I can say is we cannot mix religion and politics.
In other words, we should separate them.
We should separate them.
Okay.
Politics are the people who are selected from the specific area as leaders, as political leaders. When we talk of religion, they are religious leaders. There is a difference, a very big difference. And in politics, we always have riots in politics. We have many riots in politics. When you come to religion, we don't have riots in religion. Because the Bible, the Quran, they condemn riots. We all know that. So we must not mix the two. On this, I can also imagine such a bishop commenting. There's a bishop who asserted some words here, Archbishop Saint Tamu John. There is nothing wrong with gifts from government. Such a statement, gift from government, you're a bishop, and you're saying there is nothing wrong with gift from government. I condemn such statements. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, my name is Masete Dan Wasiu.
Come again?
Masete Dan Wasiu.
Masete Dan Wasiu.
Yeah.
Okay, we are listening to you.
I'm a student of KIU doing bachelor's in industrial chemistry. Okay, according to my opinion, is that we cannot really separate religion and politics. Why? It's just because when you try to look at the politicians that we have in Uganda, most of these people that really bear the Christian names, John, Peter. Now, how can you really separate the two? The same people who are saying that we separate religion from politics, they are holding the Bible, the Quran, really swearing in the oath with the Bible in the right hand. Then how can you really say, and let us put politics aside, then also religion be aside? So to my opinion, these two things are really conjoined. They cannot, they're just like brothers and sisters. You cannot separate the two. According to me, that's my view. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentleman from KIU. Can we have another one?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Duku Felix from International University of East Africa. I will say something little because religion and politics, they move hand in hand. Because in order for a leader to be recognized, he has to first take an oath, holding the Bible, saying, I will perform my duties, hence God help me. So I think they cannot be separated. They move hand in hand.
Do you think it is a good thing for bishops to receive cars from government?
For that case, it depends on who, and on that one comes like personal whatever attachments. Like
Okay.
for me, if I want to be like these other people, I can also have a car. But if I want to follow my God, or also it depends on how, like if there are no strings attached to the car, it's okay. But if it is given to you that you do this for me, then it becomes bad.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to end up this debate this evening by asking Mr. Kashaya to give his closing shot, and I also ask my colleague, Mr. Isadino, to have his closing shot and close the debate.
I think, Mr. Chairman, I know there are many students in KIU, in Makerere University, in Chambogo. I think the Pan-African Club must revive these debates. And I'm calling all of you to invite your fellow students to join this cause. It is through this debating and engagement that we are shaping and grooming the leaders, the African leaders. So you go and inform those ones that have not come. You who have come, continue coming. This country does not belong to the few, it belongs to all of us. It is through your participation that you get to know what you may not be knowing, and maybe tomorrow, you never know, maybe talking about you and about your legacy. As I conclude that, I want to tell you a statement from one of the scholars who say, you listen, that being a man, hear this, some of you have been calling themselves men, that being a man is not just possessing biological manhood. Being what they call a man is not just possessing biological manhood, but it's about the legacy you are leaving behind. That's why there are many ladies who qualify to be men, and there are more men who qualify to be called ladies. Because you are not leaving any legacy. So this legacy we are discussing today, which is becoming a national debate, an international debate, has been left by a Ugandan who is like you. That's why I was posing the question, which legacy are you going to leave behind? Mr. Chairman, as I summarize, politics and religion. Politics and religion cannot be separated, but they can only be identified according to the roles. The roles. That's how you can perhaps separate. What are the roles of a politician and what are the roles of a religious leader? Now, you are separating a politician and a religious leader, but you are not taking away the politics that are within the two. And that's the spirit. So the separation can be defined according to the roles. And that's what we are lacking. When you meet an American, he will tell you, I'm an American. In Africa here, when you meet an African guy, you say, I'm a Munyangoli, I'm a Mteso, I'm a Kalamajo. They don't say, I'm a Ugandan, I'm a Nigerian, I'm a Tanzanian. Or, in the future, we shall be talking about, I'm an African. I'm an African. Why is he speaking about this? Don't you know that these colonial boundaries we have created, as the scholar told you, elaborated on that? That perhaps these days, you can see my brother there from Tanzania. If he has not mentioned that he's a Tanzanian, can you really tell that he's a TZ man? You can't. My brother here, my brother in the corner there, can you tell? We are all brothers and sisters. But the enemies separated us, and all of you up to now, you are still glorifying them. So emulate the leadership of these leaders, and should be actually the light and wisdom that can shape your future. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Mr. James Kashe. Thank you so much for your winding remarks. Let me have a gentleman. I will give you 2 minutes. We are closing, but I realized I had left you out. By the time I was looking for you, you were not able to be seen.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Chibano Chukwundu from Nigeria. A law student from International University. So, my point of view may say that politics should separate from each other. Because if they did not separate, it will affect the nations and the integrity and the progress. That's what I have here. Talking about the homosexuality. I have law that violated those crimes. He said that before it session on promotions of homosexuality, which provisions are directed in violations of the fundamental principle of good governance, rule of law, and human rights, enshrined in the EAC, East African Community Treaty. Before it was overturned on a procedural ground, the anti-homosexuality Act provided for life imprisonment for anyone.
Just a minute. I have Father Gaetano Bakanyenda from Kabale. Father Gaetano, are you there?
Yeah, I am here, but very poorly.
You are in Kabale there?
Yeah, I'm in Kabale, yes.
My name is Irumba. I am the speaker of the Pan-African Live Debate here at Fairway Hotel.
Okay.
And you were supposed to have been with us, but you told me what you were going to do in Kabale and you couldn't make it here physically.
Definitely, I came for a burial, yeah.
Yes, you told me you went for burial. Now, Father, we are live on 2 radio stations, so the public is listening to you, but also this show runs on TV Africa. So whatever we speak here is put on record.
Okay.
Now, on record, I have 2 questions for you. One is that we are remembering the life of the late Archbishop John Luwum. And when we remember his life, we want also to ask ourselves, do the current religious leaders still emulate his actions? That's one. 2, can we separate politics from religion? If a Reverend Father in Kabale, can you do your work as a Reverend Father and leave politics alone? Those are the issues we're discussing.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I start with the last question?
You start with the last question.
First of all, you should understand that a religious person is a human being. A political person is a human being. So there is no way how can separate the two. think both a politician and a religious person, they are there to know God's will, okay?
Okay.
And the politics concerns the human being, the religion concerns the human being. So there is no way how can you separate the two. Those who try to do so, they are doing it out of selfishness. They are doing it selfishly. And especially the politicians who say that the religious person should confine himself to preaching. Yes, I agree with them to preach, but the question is, to whom do we preach? I think both politicians and the religious people, they need what to what. So in most cases, these selfish politicians, they say that when we preach the poor people in the villages. But for them, they don't need preaching. But they also commit mistakes, which makes God's people suffer. So there is no way how we can separate religion from politics. And even, let me say, politics from religion as well.
Okay.
They all concern a human being.
Father, when the president is swearing in, he calls either the Archbishop or the Cardinal to swear him with the Bible or Quran. And then at one point I heard he actually directed this information to you that because you are regarded as another General Luwum so far. So he said that you should concentrate on actually guiding your people spiritually as he guides the same people politically. Yes.
Now, let me ask you, I think this is being hypocritical. I'm sorry to say this.
Are you saying I'm hypocritical, or it is the president who is hypocritical?
No, those people who say that religious people should involve themselves in the matters that are political, they are being hypocritical. Now, if you talk about our president saying what you have said, for example, I was a member of the Constituent Assembly, okay? And I was nominated by the president. Didn't he know that I was a religious person? Immediately after the Liberation War, we had the Reverend Father Pius may he so rest in peace. There was the permanent secretary, which was education. He know that he was the priest.
Let me also add.
Father Rokido. He's a minister of ethics and integrity. That is a priest. We have got some religious leaders who are his advisors. That the killers are priests. Now, when he was in Asol last week to resolve the canonization of Archbishop Luwum, he praised Luwum for his courage, for his stamina, and so forth. Why can't he praise the religious people in his regime who are trying to tell him and his people that things are not okay? Why does the king do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the General Luwum Day. What do you think? What do you think? Do still the current leadership in religion, do they still emulate his actions? First of all, Reverend Father, do you have a gift of a pajero from the president?
Definitely, even if you ask the devil, the devil will tell you that I don't have a pajero from the president. I don't.
Do the rest of your colleagues have?
The priests?
Yes.
Maybe the bishops, but not priests.
The bishops have?
The bishops, of course. The bishops have, of course. It targets those big people whom he thinks that they have got influence over their flock. There is a way of blackmailing, in this business, blackmailing, political influence. So all those things are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, give your opinion, Reverend Father, about the General Luwum life and what you think should have been done probably in the other government, that this one should not make a mistake as well.
My dear friend, I think for a John and Luwum, there is a saying in St. Luke, I don't know which chapter, Jesus says, "You are the people who never deserted me in whatever I was tested in." I think so. John and Luwum is a clear example of what a religious leader should be, especially in a time of turmoil, in a time of abuse of human rights, and you name it. So John and Luwum, he didn't die because he was a thief. He didn't die because he was trying to overthrow the government, but he died because he was trying to defend the truth, especially defending his people. Okay?
Okay.
So John and Luwum, sorry, if you have to honor him, it should be the first should be the religious leaders to honor him. And how can they honor him? They can honor him by taking his path. Stand for the truth, stand for justice, if it means taking his life. Because the shepherd should lay down his life for his sheep, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied with the current leadership in religion that they are in good books with the government and they get these goods and that? Are you so satisfied?
I think when we read the press statement the other day in Kampala, we expressed it very clearly. Some religious leaders who are trying, but some they are compromising because of the handouts they get from the government. Because whenever Museveni gives a card to a bishop, when you then the bishop says, "I have given you a card," not the government. And some of the recipients of those gifts, they become compromising. So now the choice is between, should I be on the side of the oppressed or should I be with the oppressor? And by getting quiet, you join the oppressor.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now,
So let us face the reality. You see a bishop or a religious person, he talks after getting a gift of any nature, gives silence. That means I still compromising.
so Father Gaetano,
Yes.
right now, do we have oppressors and the oppressed in this Uganda?
Oh my dear friend, what?
We have
Why are you asking? Why are you asking the obvious?
And now,
What are you asking? First of all, let me tell you, our leaders, our political leaders, they are oppressed. They are oppressed by the people. They are doing what they are supposed to do. Definitely, they are oppressed by the people. Therefore, it is the work of the religious person to tell this political leader that please stop this, and this. And when you are oppressed by the devil, then you oppress the people that are supposed to rule over, to govern over.
and now, if they are oppressors and the oppressed, which side are you? Which side are you?
I am trying to deal with the oppressed.
Okay, Father,
I am trying to deal with the oppressed.
Okay. Thank you so much, Father Gaetano Batanyanda from Kabale Diocese. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, dear.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was Father Gaetano. Father Gaetano Batanyanda of Kabale Diocese. And he was supposed to be with us here physically, but he was supposed to also preside over a burial service in his diocese. I apologize, Mr. Jibugu. Your name is complicated. I apologize for having interjected into your minutes, but you can go ahead with the discussion.
So I was saying that political and religious can separate it because of if they did not separate, it's going to affect our nation, integrity and progress. Why do I say so? If you look at the Christians, they pray, they do things in their own way. But those things they are doing, I can confess to you that they are not realities. Yeah, they are not realities. all it is, they are the one who bring in progress in the society. The Christians, they will just believe on God, shouting God, but at the end of it, there is no benefit. So, just talking about the homosexuality, they are contributing the crime in the society, which is not prohibited.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We've got to go. The radio guys are telling me we've got to go. Mr. Izzadeen, can you wind up in 2 minutes? Wind up in 2 minutes. Thank you so much for your views. Izzadeen, in 2 minutes you can make your cutting short.
Thank you very much again for the time. Religion is the mess of Africa. Religion is a real problem. You go to Boko Haram, you go to Somalia, you go to Sudan, you go to DRC, Central African Republic, South Africa. It is confusing Africa. So religion should be, people should separate the religion from the state, because if we want, for example, to use the religion in Uganda, who is going to rule? Muslims or the Christian, the competition? Okay, Muslims, Ansar Sunnah or Boko Haram or who? If Christianity, who is, and then the fight is going to happen. The religion is a real problem that we are suffering in Africa. And at last, somebody can commit crime with the name of religion, whether Muslim or Christian, and then he says the devil played the role. Okay, you don't have to blame somebody who committed, who is being forced by somebody else to commit crimes. So you have to go to see the devil, or to blame the devil, which nobody has seen it, nobody has talked to him, and that is the real problem of Africa. And Africa is meant to be confused by these two religions, Islam and Christianity. So if we want to be real Africans, because if you are African, one African Muslim and a Christian, you will never get married together, you will never eat together, you will be having confusion all the time. So Pan-African is created to bring our people together. And when you are coming to Pan-Africa, African meetings or anything that has to do with the Pan-African or all Africa, that means you have to leave your religion at the gate. After you finish it, you come in, you get in your religion and go. Thank you very much.
Well, that's not I want to thank you, Mr. Izzadeen. No, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Izzadeen is a very distinguished journalist, a former reporter for the New York Times in Washington, D.C. Gentlemen and ladies, we've come to the end of our Pan-African Live debate this evening on 20th of February 2015 at Fairway Hotel. This show was probably sponsored by Nile Mineral Water. I want to thank Mr. Michael, the sales rep, who is with us here still. Thank you so much for the water. I want to thank Fairway Hotel for this auspicious room where we are. I want to thank so much TV Africa, my producer, Mr. Baguma. Thank you so much. My producer in Imbarara, Mr. Barnabas. Thank you so much. My producer in Movende on Tropical FM, Mr. Mbate Kama. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, this is a non-partisan discussion forum called the Pan-African Live Debate, which happens here every Friday at Fairway Hotel. And my name is Luwum'S, the speaker. In the Pan-Africanism, we say, don't agonize, organize. Don't agonize, organize is our motto. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall be back here next Friday. I thank you so much.